Hey there, it's Stephanie Shea, Chief Astrologer for janspiller.com with your monthly horoscope. This one's for you, Gemini. We're coming into the month of May, and a lot of this month's astrology is focused on your sun sign. We're going to have Mercury and Venus in Gemini nearly all month, and of course the sun moves into your sign on May the 20th, and this will really highlight some of your best traits. You could be in high demand as the month ends, so maybe pace yourself. Now we've got Mercury, your ruling planet, stationing retrograde on the 29th. So this could call for you to be more selective with your commitments of time and energy. It's definitely a month to make yourself a priority and plan to follow through with personal projects that you can complete on your own. The Mercury retrograde cycles are actually quite productive for work that you can kind of tune the world out, do your own thing, work at your own pace, and finally finish some of those things that have been sitting there unfinished because life has been busy. So you can look forward to that. We've got the shadow phase of this Mercury retrograde cycle starting on May 15th. And that's why it's best to initiate new agreements and make your most important decisions during the first part of the month before the shadow phase. The second half of May, it will start to slow down, and we've got this full moon eclipse at the end of the month that may bring partnership issues front and center. I'll talk about that more at the end of this horoscope. But let's talk more about the beginning of the month and go in order. We've got the sun shining in Taurus through May 19th. Now, during these days, you could get a strong dose of determination. Taurus energy is really good for that, and it could help you overcome a fear or other self-imposed limitation. It's a good time to listen to your intuition and stay focused on your desired outcome, tuning out all those distracting voices that may go through your head. Geminis often have a busy mind. The Taurus sun can be a very helpful time for that grounded focus. Now, on the 20th, the sun moves into Gemini. It's really going to highlight some of your best traits, as I mentioned, like your adaptability and your willingness to learn new things. It will truly be your season. And because we're approaching that Mercury retrograde cycle that starts on May 29th, you can use the second half of the month for activities like research, writing, editing, and contemplative practices. It's a really good time to streamline your schedule. Sometimes Geminis like to get really busy doing a bit of this and that. Maybe focus in on the most important things you can finish by yourself, because communications can get a bit scrambled during Mercury retrograde, as I'm sure you've noticed. And it's a great time to catch up on correspondence, work projects, and your own self-care. Now we've got Venus entering your sun sign May the 8th. Speaking of self-care, I associate Venus very much with that. And Venus will be in Gemini May 8th through June the 1st. So this is going to give you some magnetic allure. I find whenever Venus is hanging around your sun in the same sign, you kind of just have that special something that people are drawn to. You might as well make the most of it. You can also be quite creatively inspired during this time. The days between May 8th and May 14th are going to be the best days for doing something like updating your image or your surroundings. Venus lends support for anything that has to do with aesthetics and beauty. But the reason I say May 8th to 14th is you'll still be outside of that Mercury retrograde shadow. So it's the optimal time to make some changes. And also new romantic connections would be supported during those days. So keep that in mind. We've got a new moon on May the 11th at 21 degrees of Taurus. You can use the power of this new moon to set some intentions related to prosperity, stability, comfort, self-care. You're really going to be supported to release some stubborn habits as well, or any limiting thoughts that might have been holding you back. That's a great use of this new moon energy. Now, the days between May 11th and 14th are very high-powered days. That kind of crosses over with some of those Venus days too, because we'll have that burst of new moon energy May 11th, and we'll be outside the Mercury retrograde shadow. So you can think about what you want to get started and at least take an initial step maybe during that time for extra oomph, as I like to say. And know that the Mercury retrograde cycle is May 29th to June 22nd. So anything you don't get rolling by mid-month, maybe set your focus towards July for a better time to really start something new or launch something. Now, the first eclipse of 2021 is coming. It's May 26th. It is a full moon lunar eclipse at 5 degrees Sagittarius. So this is important for Gemini people because Sagittarius is the sign opposite Gemini in the zodiac. If you were born on or around May 26th of any year, or if you have 5 degrees Gemini rising, you're in store for the greatest amount of insight at this eclipse. And it's possible that you'll be in the spotlight in some way this year. It usually kind of puts a highlight on you when there's eclipse near your birthday or near your ascendant. So either way, all Geminis are really scheduled to learn a lot more about themselves at this eclipse. As a result, that can shift your relationships. Self-realizations and awareness really do ripple out and have that effect on those around us. And you could be more likely to attract people who appreciate you when you're expressing yourself authentically. You can think about a Sagittarius full moon eclipse as highlighting the truth. And that means speaking your truth, living your truth, and attracting those people who appreciate it and want more of that. It can be very much about finding your people. So I hope that you can make the most of May's astrology. Happy birthday to any Geminis born towards the end of May, and I look forward to giving your horoscope again next month.